Okay, so I put the harness back together. I've screwed it back down. You want to make sure that you get these wires, packed down back in there, back where they belong. And just a note, make sure you take notice of the way the pins are before you take this out. Now, if you haven't noticed, there's a 3 pins and then there's 2 pins. 3 down here, 2 up here. The 2 pins go to the angled side facing that way. That way they're oriented correctly when you put it in back into the car. Okay, I've reapplied the rubber boot that goes over this part, and the last part of the assembly is going to be putting the mirror back on. Now when I removed the mirror, I noticed that there was a couple of pieces of like foam tape that were there, and I assume that that's there for vibration to keep your mirror from rattling around in case it's a little bit loose. Now I didn't have any of those handy, but I do have some just square, they're 3M foam block tapes, and I'm going to stick those on there and hope that they work just as well as the other ones. So I'm hoping that kind of reduces any kind of road issues that we might have. Now I need to make sure that I plug in my wires. I'm going to put these clips, or put the mirror back onto those clips and reattach my wires, and they just kind of push in. You can feel them click a little bit when they go in, and then we should be able to click this all back into place. Okay, so once I have this all done, I've put those on there, and this should be just a matter of putting this down and clipping it back into place so that it snaps in. Okay, I did manage to get it on. It took a lot of wrangling, and here's what I learned. The best way to do this is to, well, there may be a better way, but the way I got it to do is to actually get your fingers in right there and press the white part into the black clips with your fingers and snap that down until that one snaps. Then it's a lot more difficult, but you flip it over on the other side and then get your fingers in here. My fingers are a little bit on the large side, so I did have a hard time getting my fingers in there. But in the first time, I just simply pressed and tried to get it to snap, and my results were less than desirable. So fortunately, this was garbage for me anyway, and it's not a big deal. But that's part of the learning process here, and hopefully it saves you a little bit. I was able to get my fingers in here, and eventually with some trial and error, and I used a flat-headed screwdriver. That's not a flat-headed screwdriver. I used a flat-headed screwdriver to pry upward while I was pushing back down, and it did clip into place. And so now it has been reassembled. It's just a matter of reattaching it to the car, and we should be in good shape. Okay. So I've reattached this to the car. If you haven't looked at other videos on how to do this, it's really, really simple. There's a nut here, one down here, and then, I don't know if you can see it, but there's one right there on the inside of the door. You take those 3 off, you unclip this, and it comes right out. The cover plate is very simple as well. It has a clip on the top and a clip on the bottom. Just goes right over top and goes right into place, and that is it. So the entire cost of this repair for me with the part was $40. I'm still going to list that outer shell on eBay and see if I can get some of my money back. Way better than a $300, $400 repair from the dealer. Certainly better than even getting a replacement one that was painted to match. This one already matched my car. So I'm